to interject and kind of mimic that, I had a conversation with Joe Corbisiero. He kind of blew my mind. This might be basic for everybody, but if you have not, when you're on a buyer or seller consult, pull up the data. And this is where it's going to just be all of us and our responsibility to learn Zoom and the techniques behind this, because you guys can screen share. And he screen shared with me. And Joe, you can just talk about this point. You could even screen share. We don't need to go into like you don't have to break down the market for us on this call, but
you guys are, yes.
Yeah. Like,
so thank you for saying that. Yeah. I mean, just going back to the point and you guys pretty much, Robert, you were saying that. So, data and the real stories, it's what's going to help people to make a decision at this point. So I believe that, when you have, it's funny because what I'm doing now, every time I sell a property, I'm doing like a full-on interview with a client when we close escrow. What triggered you to buy a home? How do you feel right now? And what did you do now during the pandemic versus, so I'm collecting data when I'm talking to people, right? And I'm using the stories when I'm having a conversation with, with a prospect sellers or buyers. So, the questions that you probably guys have all the time is, what's going to happen? A lot of people lost their job, unemployment is so high, yada, yada, yada. And it boils down to a couple of simple things, in my opinion, that I dug down with my coach. So in my opinion, the housing price is not going to go into crash because it's about the millennial that's moving the real estate side of the economy. So 45% of the mortgages, as per Zillow, were initiated by millennials. What do the millennials do? You guys know what they do, right? Majority of them are into statistics, financial analysts, advertisement, web developers, EMT, paramedics. Those are jobs that really, they haven't been affected by the pandemic. They're not going to be affected by riots. Actually, people on TV and financial stuff is going to be even more prone. So who really lost their jobs are people in the service industry, restaurants, waitress, bartenders, hair salon. And these guys, unfortunately, they live, their majority income comes from tips. And it's hard to qualify people like that, as sad as it is. So, that's why I believe we don't see anything major happening to our real estate, economy. I call it like that. I like to divide it. I'm going to share with you something really quick, which blew my damn mind, honestly. Just a second. So you guys know what showing time is, right? Everyone? Yeah. Raise hands. Yeah. You guys,
every agent should know what that is. I do not, but that's okay.
Showing time is it's a place where it's a service that you call to share, but basically to book the appointment to get into a house.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
So what I think is crazy about showing time, here it is. You guys see this? So look at this. Can you see this?
Yeah, we can see it, Joe.
All right, cool. So if you look at the beginning of the pandemic, this is 2020 March. We had about 32% more showings than the prior year. The blue line is 2019 and the orange line is 2020. Look at this. We're going to the lockdown. There's no showings. 67.4% less showings than we had the previous year. Look where we are right now. Exactly where we were last year. I mean, to me, this data is, and this is for California, by the way. It's not just San Diego. So as you can see on the top, it says COVID-19 real estate showings in California. So what tells me is that we had that V. I don't remember if I did it with you, Jesse, or with you. We're talking about V-shaped recovery. This is exactly what it is. I mean, obviously, it doesn't look like a V because it's projected within months, but it was quick. I mean, we're going from a minus 64.4 to a plus 50% in showings. So that tells you that there's a lot of people on the market. And you guys are all professional. You do a lot of transactions, so you probably see that happen. What's interesting here, this is the San Diego County expected market time year over year. So we broke it down 2017 to 2020. I don't know if you guys remember, 2017, it was my best year in real estate until this year. Let's put it like that. Because, it was crazy. Everybody was buying, the interest rates were good, and so on and on and on. So the days on the market it goes obviously to supply and demand. So the supply is low, there's a high demand, the days on the market is going to go down. Same thing. I mean, if you look up April, May, it went up. This is the number of days on the market. Now it's closer to 2017 mark. So having a conversation with a buyer or a seller, just to be, clear, what I don't try to push them. I'm not using, I was in a group earlier, I was just saying that. I'm not there trying to make a sale. I'm not trying to push somebody. Either people are ready for this or they're not. The conversations are different. All the scripts that we learned that I used and I invested 10 years into it, it's worthless at this time because it takes some balls to go buy a home when there's riots out there and there's a pandemic. So we have to understand that as a professional. If somebody has Paul says, hey man, you know what? Your data makes total sense. The interest rates are 3%. It's a change of a 10% purchase price. So I don't know if you guys know this, but we have 3% interest rates on a 30-year fixed. If that price goes, that interest rates goes back to 4%, it's actually a 10% difference in the purchase price, almost. So if somebody tells me, well, the prices are high, I don't know, we're probably gonna have a crash in real estate. I'm like, well, even if we drop 10%, you're still paying the same amount of money every month. So I don't like to throw the dice. I'm not that kind of a gambler. But what's important right now, and to go back what Nadia says, your landlord can kick you out within 4 to 6 months because he probably wants to sell. So I will feel comfortable having a 3% interest rates and have $3,000 a month payment, which I feel comfortable with. So that's the type of conversation. On the selling side, I believe that a lot, you guys probably agree, especially you guys do a lot of listings. Majority of people are like, well, I want to wait. I don't know what's going to happen with the riots and this and this and that. That's the conversation or the mindset, I should say, that 99% of people have at this point in time. Let's say that we have 10,000 projected sellers and 9,000 of those right now are just thinking, I want to wait. That's my conversation with the seller. Now, all of a sudden, everything goes back to normal. There's 9,000 people are going to put their house on the market. What's going to happen to your property? You're going to have 5 or 6 same exact floor plan competing with you. Is your home in top shape? Is your kitchen completely remodeled? Do you have all the things that people are looking for? So I wouldn't really recommend you to play this waiting game. If you're ready for it, I'm your resource. If I can help you to move, and I have the movers, and so on and on. Let's do it now. That's about it.
Joe, thank you. That was money. And the one thing that I took away from everybody's conversation is urgency. Creating urgency. And it's not a fake, false urgency. Just show them the data. It's kind of simple. If you just run the numbers and tell them, find their motivation, there you go. You could have a million talking scripts from just those points right there.